Unstoppable Squad? Welcome to another edition of our results channel. I'm the Immortal Spades.
I'm Unstoppable Denominator.
We will be covering NXT. Notice the beautiful yellow light.
Yes.
So let's get this results started.
All right, the post-Battleground edition of WWE NXT opens up on the USA Network, live from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, as Vic Joseph welcomes us. He's joined at ringside by WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. Fans chant NXT as Vic sends us to a video package for tonight's opener, while we see the steel cage around the ring. Weaponized steel cage match, Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane. We go right to the weaponized steel cage, and out comes Gigi Dolan while Alicia Taylor does the introductions. There are weapons placed all over the cage and onto the cage. JC Jane suddenly attacks from behind, and here we go. JC Jane destroys Dolan at ringside and slams the cage door on her. Then brings it in as well as we get the bell. Jane goes to work with candlestick shots. Vic says both women wanted this to be a one by pinfall or submission only, no escape. Dolan grabs a steel chair and turns it around. Dolan with a big boot to kick Jane out of a chair. Dolan unloads with a leather strap shots now. Dolan places a trash can over Jane and kicks away. Dolan slaps and taunts Jane, then drop kicks a trash can into her for a close 2 count. Dolan chokes Jane as fans chant for tables. Dolan grabs a custom baseball bat with thorns. Pretty much barbed wire, I think.
Yeah, Cactus Jack's own specialty.
And goes to work on Jane in the corner. But Jane won't quit. Jane ducks a bat shot and spikes Dolan into a trash can with a spine buster. Jane talks some trash as we go to a picture-in-picture commercial. This is what WWE should be doing more often. Go to picture-to-picture commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially wrestling, other wrestling promotions,
because everybody wants to see it. Like, everybody wants to know what's going on, even when the commercial breaks happens. Like, the viewers, they could see it, and then you still got your commercial, but they can still watch what's going on.
Right. And then it's great bathroom break, but, we would like to watch. Or just a commercial for other viewers.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Back from the break, and Jane is using a chain to ground Dolan by the face. Dolan breaks free and unloads for 2. Dolan makes a pile of chairs now. They tangle, and Jane slams Dolan onto the chair with a neck breaker for a close 2 count. They fight up to their knees, then to their feet, trading big strikes. Now they unload. Jane sends Dolan back into a corner trash can, then super kicks it. Jane with a corner cannonball into the can for 2. Fan chants for tables, and Jane brings one into play after working Dolan over to keep her down. They trade suplex attempts on the table. Jane launches Dolan into the cage wall. Jane sends Dolan face into the top turnbuckle. Jane climbs up for a superplex. They climb to the very top and go at it now. Dolan slams Jane's face into the steel a few times, then choke slams her through the table down below. Dolan comes down from the top and covers Jane for the win. Gigi Dolan is your winner. After the match, Dolan recovers to a standing ovation. The music hits and we go to replays. Dolan climbs back to the top to pose while Jane lays on the table debris down below.
Okay. Vic leads us to a video of highlights from NXT Battleground. We see from earlier today of NXT North American Champion Wes Lee backstage with Mackenzie Mitchell. Lee talks about his record-breaking reign until date interrupts. I don't know why they always have to have stupid names. Looking for a fight. They say Lee retaining the Battleground proves nothing, and Joe Gacy sent them as a reminder. Tyler Bates rushes in to stand with Lee, evening the odds. Bates says if you want to fight Lee, then they also have to fight him. The Dade storms off. Bates says, like he mentioned at Battleground, Sunday match was all about spirit in the competition, and they were all still mates. Bates says he still has Lee's back, and Lee appreciates it. Still to come, the NXT is here. The NXT champion is here, and all right, we get a vigilant of Tony D'Angelo, thank you, being photographed by his mugshots to continue last week's arrest storyline. Gallus is backstage now, bragging about the Battleground win and mocking Tony D, chanting stacks. Lorenzo Bat walks up and then accuses them of ratting on Tony D. They have words, and Stacks says snitches get stitches. Then a brawl breaks out. Gallus
triple team Stacks.
Yeah. And then official orders NXT Tag Team Champions Wolfgang and Mark Coffey out of the arena. We go back to the ring, and out comes the NXT champion,
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams to a big pop. Trick praises Hayes for winning in his hometown. Hayes says Battleground was just that with Braun Breaker. He goes about how tough the match was, but he says he never misses when it comes to the NXT title. Then there was another brick laid in Hayes' legacy. The music hits and comes out NXT Heritage Cup champion Noam Dar. Oh, what the hell? Why do they have stupid names? Mesha, Lash Legend, and Jocko Jackson. Fans boo. I don't give a shit. Dar says he also retained at Battleground. Hayes barely beat Breaker while he dominated Dragon Lee. Trix knocks them for interrupted. Gaze gives Dar some props, but says the NXT title has him on higher plane. Hayes says Dar may have pinned Dragon twice, but he cannot beat Hayes once. Dar challenged Hayes to an NXT championship title match tonight. Admits that he's going to take advantage of Hayes' condition following Battleground. Dar and Lash take shots at Hayes, but he won't have anyone call him low management. Hayes says Dar is on for tonight, the NXT title shot. Cora Jade is backstage complaining to others in the NXT women's locker room about how her tournament match with Leia Valkyrie went last week. Jade says we should be celebrating her tonight, not Tiffany Stratton. Ivy Niles interrupts and says everyone is tired of Jade's whining. They have words. Jade taunts Niles over Creed brothers losing on Sunday and how Ava attacked her. Niall wonders where Jade was on Sunday and then knocks her again and she walks off.
The Dade versus NXT North American Champion Wes Lee and Tyler Bate. We go back to the ring and out comes the Day Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed with Ava. We see stills from Battleground. We go backstage to Axum. Now Reggie or Scripps walks in and says he means no harm. Reggie says he will explain the Scripps name some other time, which his people called him when he was growing up. But he thanked Axum for removing his mask and opening his eyes, because Axum helped him. He felt the need to help Axum with Daba Coda last week. Reggie thanked Axum again, then bows out. Axum says, anytime. We go back to the ring, and Tyler Bate is out. NXT North American Champion Wesley joins him, and they head to the ring together. The bell rings, and Reed locks up with Bate. Back and forth to start. Fowler takes over, but Lee comes in with a double team roll up for 2. Lee mounts more offense and levels Fowler for a 2 count. The Dade with quick tag nows. Reed joins Fowler for the double team, but Bate fights them off and crawls to make the tag. Bate and Lee with stereo drop kicks to their opponents now. The Dade rushes back in, and we have a stalemate. Free agent Mustafa Ali suddenly appears in the crowd, which causes the fans to go wild. This is also distracts the competitors and stops the match. Fans chant Ali as he takes a seat, and we go back to commercial. Ali is on commentary. Reed controls Bate in the middle of the ring. Ali talks about being a free agent, so he can show up anywhere he wants. Bate fights off a double team. Lee comes in, and he also fights off both opponents for a big pop. Lee with a big tornado DDT to Fowler. As Ava looks on, Lee unloads on Reed, but misses the cardiac kick to Fowler. Fowler drops Lee. Lee keeps going and hits a double cardiac kick to both opponents. Bate tags in and comes flying off the top. While Lee does the same as they hit stereo spiral taps on their opponents. Lee sends Fowler out to the floor with a big drive, which allows Bate to hit the Tyler Driver 97 on Reed for the pin to win. Winners Wesley and Tyler Bate. After the match, Ivy Nile runs down and beats up Ava at ringside, and the Creed brothers come out and end up brawling with the Dane. Joe Gacy suddenly attacks Lee from behind, beating him down. Ali rushes in to save Lee, sending Gacy out to the floor. Fans chant Ali as he raises Lee and Bates' hand in the victory.
We see Tiffany Stratton walking backstage back. Blah, blah, blah. And let's see, back from the break, we see the backstage battleground segment between Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. Humiliating Thea Hall in front of the other Chase U students while teacher Duke Hudson is overwhelmed. We see the footage in the in-ring training session from earlier today. Duke gives Hill a pass, so she acted before, and she says she never wants to be made like she feels like that again. Hill tells Duke she can do this, let her go. He tells her to give them hell. Hill steps into the ring and is told no crying by Gullick and Dempsey. The segment ends with Hill begins to lock up. As we go to the ring, and out comes the NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton to her Tiffbration segment. The ring is set up with several large photos of Stratton. Stratton takes the microphone and brags to her big win tournament final and a title win. She says she's a future Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Famer, and have held this title, and tonight she will show what a true champion is. Stratton goes with a major praise to herself. Stratton calls for the NXT women's locker room so they can acknowledge her as the champion. No one comes out until she mentions possibly revealing her first challenger. Stratton asks the fans, but then says she doesn't care what they think. Stupid fans. Stratton says they might as she retire as champion because none of them women can even sit with her. Stratton says that she is so awkward, and she had Tiffany Epiphany after Battleground. There was a number one contender battle royal. It doesn't matter who wins because she will beat them all, because she is, as far as concerned, is Tiffy time forever. Okay. Stratton poses as balloons and confetti comes falling from the ceiling. Thea Hall suddenly rushes to the ring and attacks Stratton. Disrespect. Unloading and screaming. Leah Valkyrie follows up with a drop kick to send Stratton to the floor. They're all jealous of her. The NXT women's locker room, and then poses together in the apron. Stratton throws a fit at ringside. Poor Stratton. Trick Williams is backstage on the phone telling someone he heard Carmelo Hayes. There was Carmelo Hayes. There will be to celebrate later. Oro, Messiah, whatever, Lash Legend, and Jackson interrupt, but Trick ends up dismissing them. Oro interrupts by some words of Trick. Trick says that he will keep his eye on them tonight. We see Norm Dar backstage warming up for the main event. We also see NXT champion backstage. And Danny Palmer
is in the ring with a microphone.
Yeah. She says she refuses to leave until the mystery attacker does as promised and showed her face. A video package plays showing how the women has attacked Palmer. Roxanne Perez, Sol Rashida, and what's her name? Lyons.
Nikita.
Okay. Nikita Lyons and Wendy Chow in recent months. Man, they got some stupid names. No offense. Can't even read them. The mystery woman attacks from behind to lay Palmer out. She removes her hood and then
Palmer.
Yeah. You're just mad. Palmer is loved. Palmer loves you, you know.
Yeah,
She removes her hood and then Blair Davenport making her return. Davenport decks Palmer again and then poses to a big pop.
We see Edris Enough and Malik Blade. Now that's Malik, not the one that you said it the other night.
What?
When you was like Malik Black. It was Malachi Black. That's how you spell Malik. Backstage with Eddie Thorpe last week, giving him props on his loss to Tyler Bate. Damian Kemp walks up and says that's what happens when Thorpe doesn't cheat, referring to Kemp's loss to Thorpe on May 9th. Kemp taunts Thorpe and walks off. Vic announces the rematch for next week. Joe Coffey versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo. We go back to the ring. Out comes Joe Coffey of Gallus. Channing Stacks Lorenzo is out next. NXT Tag Team Champions Wolfgang and Mark Coffey were ejected from the ringside. And Tony D'Angelo is in jail. That's what you get for doing whatever he did. I don't know what he did. Let us know in the comments what he did. We'll actually mention that next week.
Yeah.
The bell rings and Stacks unloads, beating Coffee down in the corner. Coffee comes out of the corner, but Stacks tackles him and works over him. Stacks drops a leg for a 2 count. Stacks keeps control, grounding Coffee with a headlock. Coffee with a big hip toss to turn it around. Coffee beats Stacks around the ring now, and then hits another big hip toss. Stacks turns it around and grabs Coffee, but Coffee sort of collapses, clutching the side of his head. Stacks stomps Coffee for 2. Coffee powers up with a big slam. Stacks drop kicks Coffee off of the apron to the floor. Coffee stalls, still clutching his head, but Stacks follows out and connects with a big right hand. And Coffee has been dominating in and out of the ring. Coffee slams Stacks for 2. But Stacks comes right back with a submission attempt. Stacks with 2 big slams now. Stacks with clotheslines and corkscrew uppercut. Coffee runs into another uppercut. Stacks with a neck breaker for a close 2. Coffee climbs up with Stacks for a belly-to-belly suplex. Stacks kicks out just in time. Stacks counters a charge with a big backdrop. Stacks charges with a clothesline, but they both tumble over the top rope to the floor as the referee counts. Coffee ends up sending Stacks into the steel ring steps. Coffee brings it back in for a Glasgow send-off, and all the best for the bell. All the best for the bells for the pin to win in the middle of the ring. Your winner, Joe Coffey.
After the match, Coffee stands tall as the music hits and we go to the replays. Coffee poses the entranceway and barks some trash to talk to Stacks as he recovers. We see some footage from last week. Mr. Stone and Von Wagner are backstage. Von talks about how Luca...
Crucifuno.
Oh my God, they got stupid names. Can't even pronounce them.
Crucifuno.
Yeah. Got everything, and we had coming to him, blah, 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 treating Stone. Stone says Von could be fired or suspended, which would mess up his free agency. Stone says, don't take this the wrong way, but whatever went on with Von as a kid has left him with some serious anger issues. If he doesn't listen to Von, maybe it will be some time for some therapist. Von says, why? So we could take his money. Stone says he will pay some for sessions. Please do not do this for me. Von says he will think about it. We play a video package of Ilja Dragunov for his last man standing match over
Dijak
at WWE Battleground. Dragunov will be back on NXT next week. Cora Jade versus
Cora Jade
versus Ivory Nile. We go to the ring, and out comes Cora Jade with her kendo stick. Back, we see stills from Battlegrounds. Jade looks to the ring. The bell hits as they go. Jade suckers Niles in with a cheap shot to start. Niles fights back, takes down Jade for 2. Niles focuses on the arm and dominates Jade from behind, and then slams Niles by her hair. Niles kicks out of 2. The referee warns Jade as she uses the hair to hold control. Fans do dual chants for Jade. Rocks Niles, then drapes her over the middle rope. Jade with a run and drop kick for the 2 count. Jade grounds Niles in the middle of the ring as fans rally now. Niles backs free to roll Jade for 2. Niles stays on Jade while slams her to the corner for 2. Jade cradles Niles for 2. Jade comes back and misses a big double stomp to the back. Niles with a big gut wrench slam. Ava suddenly attacks from the apron, but Niles fights her off. Jade takes control and charges Niles to turn back. Jade then drops Niles in the middle of the ring for the pin and win. Your winner, Cora Jade.
After the match, Jade stands tall as the music hits. And go backstage to Hank Walker and Tank Liger. Hank asks how Tank's shoulder is after their match last week. And Tank asks how Hank's ribs are. Oh my god, this one was stupid. They're both getting better. They give each other props for crushing it last week in their in the match won by Hank. Tank talks about how the match worked as it made their connection together stronger. They are now tighter than ever. Hank and Tank now starting naming their favorite things, which is stupid as they were saying the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, we don't have that.
And they keep saying the same items. Erderis, Enoff, and Malik Blade show up and hear about Hank and Tank are closer now. But they're skeptical. Whatever. Hank and Tank.
Stupid names.
Show them and walk off. NF and Blade try the same thing, but they keep naming different favorites. Blade wonders if fighting would help their team, but NF walks off and says they're not going to fight. Agreed.
We see Norm Dar walking backstage with his crew. Carmelo Hayes is also heading out.
Carmelo Hayes.
Back to the break. We get a promo video of NXT Great American Bash, which will be Sunday, July 3rd from
30th.
Cedar Park. July 30th, whatever. From Cedar Park, Texas. We see Mustafa Ali arrive earlier tonight. Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage for comments for the Diamond Mine, shows up as they're upset. Ivory Niles calls out Ava for next week, while the Creed brothers call out the Dread for next week. The heels show up, but official not 2 sides back.
NXT title match. NXT Heritage Cup champion Nomar Dar versus Carmelo Hayes. We go back to the ring for tonight's main event, and out comes NXT Heritage Cup champion Nomar Dar with Oro Menesh, Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson. NXT champion Carmelo Hayes is out next with Trick Williams. We get formal ring induction from Alicia Taylor. The bell rings and they size each other up and go at it, trading holds by their arms. Dar misses a cheap kick and Hayes rocks him, then applies a headlock in the middle of the ring. Dar reverses it. Hayes immediately counters with a hold of his own. They break and Dar counters, then drops Hayes. Hayes comes right back and knocks Dar out of the ring with a springboard clothesline right in front of the announcers. Hayes stands tall in the ring while Menesh tends to Dar at ringside. Ow, what the fuck? Stop! Dar fights Hayes off with forearms. Hayes mounts offense, going corner to corner. Then hits the big springboard fade away leg drop for 2. Dar mounts a comeback now as his stable rallies. Dar with two close 2 counts. Dar and Hayes trade big strikes now. Dar with a stiff elbow for a 2. a close 2 count. More back and forth on their feet now, but they both go down in the middle of the ring. They get back up and Hayes unloads with signature strikes. Hayes ducks strikes and drives Dar down for a close 2 count. Legend and Jackson distract Trick at ringside now until Menesh comes from behind, but Trick drops him. Trick is ejected by the referee. Fans boo the decision. This leads to Dar dropping Hayes for 2. Dar with a close submission now, but Hayes fights out and nails strikes. Dar fights off the crossface now. They get up and trade big strikes. Hayes drops Dar and goes to the ope. Menesh hits the apron to crotch Hayes while the referee is distracted by Legend and Jackson. Dragon Lee and Nathan Fraser run down to face off with Dar and Menesh at ringside. Dar and Menesh turn back around to a big top turnbuckle dive from Hayes on the floor. Hayes brings Dar back in the ring and hits a nothing but net leg drop in the middle of the ring for the pin to win. Carmelo Hayes is your winner. After the match, the music hits as Hayes celebrates. We go to replays. Hayes raises the NXT title on the entranceway. Now until the free agent Baron Corbin attacks from behind.
Of course.
Corbin destroys Hayes and brings him in for end of days in the middle of the ring to loud boos. Corbin grabs the NXT title and raises it in the air, then drops it on Hayes. The post-Battleground edition of NXT goes off the air with Corbin standing tall over Hayes as a bum-ass Corbin chant starts up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Corbin, he's a good wrestler, but WWE really made him a joke.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it. Like, all the years that we've been watching it.
He was great, and then all of a sudden they made him as a joke as Happy Corbin, and...
Yeah, it's so stupid.
This made him lose so many times, made him drop JBL. JBL dropped him because he kept losing. Yep. It's like, come on. Now he's in free agent, and now he gets to go wherever he wants, and now he's going to NXT. There you go.
Exactly.
They're gonna do something again. They should have just kept him as Baron Corbin instead of Happy Corbin.
So stupid. But
the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin was better off.
Oh yeah. But till next time, I'm the Immortal Spades.
I'm Unstoppable Denominator, and I'll see what I can do for AEW Dynamite tomorrow morning.
All right, and we're out.
Peace.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Skiz here, and if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy ass bitch motherfucker.